Hey, I'm Rod Harrison. I am a marriage coach and a relationships expert. I serve a very unique clientele, which is a real joy and a treat. People who are high performers in sports and business and entertainment who got really private worlds that they're working on in private, even though they may be known publicly to a lot of people, they still are dealing with things like relationship stress and not really being able to perform at their best level and are not as powerfully connected to the people that they love, even though they're in relationship with them and have made commitments. And so they need somebody who can understand their world and who will walk with them and encourage them and coach them in these very important relationships. And that is a real gift from God to me that I get to serve people in this way and in those spaces. I'm glad you're here today. And I hope that what I share with you will be helpful to you, whether you're in those spaces or not. This is something that I believe will help you. And I'm going to talk specifically about marriage, but don't shut me down if you're not married, because this is going to be relevant to a lot of people. I want to talk today about how to make love to your wife. Men, this is especially for you, but ladies, y'all can just shout out in the comments, shout out and let me know if this is resonating, if this is making, if this is on point. A lady sent this to my wife. Well, she didn't send it to my wife, but my wife read it on social media. And after she read it, she sent it to me. So let me read it to you so you know what's up. Uh, she goes by S.O. Rotan, Sorotan, at Sorotan, at S.O. Rotan. I hope I'm pronouncing your handle correctly, but you were on point with this. She says pornography has done women a huge disservice in teaching men what they now think women want. She said, pornography has taught men to think that women want this: fast and furious, disconnected, minimal foreplay, genital focus, goal oriented, release based, penetrative, three times X sex. So that's what porn has taught men. And I do a lot of work with men who are struggling with porn addictions. And she's right. She's right, because the men that I've worked with, their spouses say, this is what I'm dealing with all the time. This is what I'm doing all the time. He just want wham bam, thank you, ma'am, all on me. No connection, no flow, nothing about me. Let me keep reading. But to make love with a woman slowly, gently, vulnerably, connected, journeying, exploring, discovering. I feel like I'm speaking a foreign language to dudes. Look, I've been working with dudes all of my professional life, college sports, professional sports, as a pastor, as a coach. I've been working with men for a long time. This is not how dudes describe what they've been developed to deliver in the intimacy of love life. That's not what we describe. I wasn't taught that. I bet you weren't taught that. And so stop tripping and stick with me. You might learn something today. Hello. Focusing on her whole body, feeling her and touching her spirit, penetrating her heart. Ah, well, that takes a special kind of man, says the writer. A man who surrenders instead of controls, a man who gives as much as he takes, a man who opens his heart and not just his mind, a man who is not afraid to feel his depths, a man who understands his divine power to lead her, to open her, to crack open her heart, a man who knows his gift is love. Ooh. That's powerful. A man who knows that his gift is love. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, sacrificed everything for her. He wasn't just trying to get with it, hit it, and quit it and go to sleep. Y'all not ready for me today, I promise you. And here's what my wife wrote back to me. Don't hate. Do not hate on me. This is what she wrote back to me. Thank you for being such a tender lover. I adore you. So here's the crazy thing for me. I didn't grow up learning what this writer described and what my wife commended me for. I had to grow into it. I had to learn how to love a woman right. And when I learned, I wrote about it, by the way, in my first book called Cover Her, which you can get on Amazon, and I highly recommend it, Cover Her. But my wife commended me, and I'm honored. And I want to jump back into some of the adverbs that the writer used, some descriptives to go back through. So maybe can I don't know. If you're not a hater, can I coach you up for a little bit? If you're a hater, then, hey, jump off the channel. Go keep doing what you've been doing. Be shallow. But if you're ready to go to another level, deeper, the writer has some things to offer us. She says, but to make love with a woman slowly. Here's the first point. She says, slow down. Can you just slow down and be with her and enjoy her, know her, have conversation with her, see into her? That's what slowing down is all about. It's understanding where she is and what she's dealing with and how you can care for her where she is. Slow down, slow it down, slow it down. But you come in rushing, trying to just hurry up and get some. And she's like, here, okay, here. And then she got to fake like she's satisfied. Help me out, somebody. She's got to fake it to you. And then you think you're the man. But she's like, nah, can you go slowly? Can you just be present with me? Can you act like I'm a human being who has emotions and who has needs? She says slowly. She says gently. Right? Like, I don't need you to be rough, she says. Women don't want you to be rough. Some of y'all like, nah, she like it rough. Okay, that's your thing. Maybe she does. That's between you and her. But this lady says mostly women want to be dealt with gently, like they're fine works of art. Like they are tender to touch. Like that. That's what this writer says. She says, make love with a woman gently, vulnerably. Like, can you show up, she says, and be vulnerable? Like, share you, like what you're feeling, what you've been through. Not just what you want, but maybe what the stress of your day was like and why this lovemaking means so much to you and how grateful you are. Do you express any gratitude? Like, thank you so much for being with me and taking the time. I was working with a client recently. He said, I don't get none of that back when my wife and I get together. He says, it's like just going through the motions. He says, and I'm tired of being, vulnerable and asking because I get no vulnerability in return. So, vulnerability is important on both sides of the equation. She says, vulnerably connected. I think she means emotionally connected. Like we are seeing into one another. We are here for one another. We're here present to care for one another. Y'all not ready for this right now because y'all just want to go hit it, get after it, and be like, oh, I did that. Man, grow up. Grow up. She wants some connection. She wants to feel like you know where she is. You care about where she is. You are creating a safe space for her emotionally to open herself up to you, to be vulnerable with you. She says connected. That's what a woman wants. She says make love with a woman in a connected way, not like your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. Like it's just a thing. Listen, I don't know how you get down. That's between you and your wife. But I'm just reading the text or the thread that I got, the text I got. Right, journeying. Right, like so taking trips together. Right, sort of having the conversation about times in a relationship and times when you made love and right and things that you're dreaming about and where you want to go and how you want to be together the next time. And she says journey, let's journey. She said a woman wants her husband to journey with her, exploring, right? Like, hey, what feels right to you? What would satisfy you? What would bring pleasure to you? Let's have some fun together. Let's learn some new things together. Can we do that? Is what she's saying, right? Exploring and discovering. Ooh, we never did that before. That's new. Can you, after 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of marriage, still discover? Absolutely. Still discover? Absolutely. Hey, it's been 33 plus years for us. We're still on highs. We keep going from one level of glory to another one. It's getting better and better and better. One, because it's exclusive. It ain't boring when it's exclusive. It's soaring when it's exclusive because we get to fully be available to one another. So I don't know where you are, but I thought she had some powerful, powerful things to say. I wanted to share them with you, even challenge you to give some thought to those things. Hey, just before we wrap up, let me share this with you. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today, right here on my channel. I'm glad you stopped by. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to add some value to your life, to encourage you, to give you some insights that will be helpful to you. And I want to share with you a gift. This is a tool, a resource. It's really a guide that I created called The First Five Steps. This is my guide to help anyone who has suffered the atrocious, traumatic pain of being cheated on. It's what I call the tsunami effect. This is what happens when somebody you trusted has been unfaithful. So once you download the guide, you can just click on the link in the description. I'll give you the first five steps. This is what to do now that you've discovered that there's been cheating. And so whether it's you or someone that you know, you should grab this guide for them, send it to them so that they can get clear about what they should do right now. Because oftentimes the overwhelm and the anxiety and all of those things start to kick in, and it's difficult to make decisions. And oftentimes people make decisions that they regret. And I don't want you or anyone that you know to be living with regret after you discovered that there was cheating. So grab the guide, it's free to you. It's what I call the first five steps, right? What to do once you've discovered cheating or infidelity. All right, hey, let's get right back to the video. All right, I'm glad you stuck with me. Here are some final thoughts. The writer, S.O. Rotan, Sorotan, at Sorotan, she says, well, that takes a special kind of man, right, to love somebody like that, focusing on her whole body, feeling her soul, touching her spirit, penetrating her heart. A man who surrenders instead of controls, a man who gives as much as he takes, a man who opens his heart and not just his mind, a man who is not afraid to feel his depths, a man who understands his divine power to lead her, to open her, to crack open her heart. How do you get here? Because I wasn't here. Like, I ain't grow up like this. I learned it. I learned about sex a whole nother way. How do you get there? I think there are a couple ways you get there. One, you got to commit fully. You got to fully commit to the person God has given you fully commit. So if you're not fully committed, it's going to be hard to get there. Two, I had to grow. I had to commit and I had to grow. And I had to commit to my growth because I didn't know really what my wife needed. Um, I brought a lot of dysfunction into this area when I was, um, when I was coming along, but I had to grow. And so I committed to growing. I was growing spiritually. I was growing emotionally. I was growing relationally. I was growing financially so I could provide for my wife and my family. Because a woman who's provided for, y'all ain't gonna help me talk, right? All of those areas of growth are important to really fuel our intimacy. And so I want to encourage you commit. I want to encourage you to grow. I want to encourage you to risk being vulnerable. Ask your wife, fellas, ask your wife, wives, y'all shout me out in the chat if you want this. Like, how can I get better? How can I get better? How can I be a better lover to you? How can I make making love better? Those are some questions that you can ask. And I bet if you do, you will hear her mention some of the things that my wife shared with me in this thread. Hey, I don't know who at SO Rotan is, but I can tell you what, she's on to something. And I believe she can help a lot of our marriages in this area of intimacy if we'll follow her script. All right, hey, thanks for letting me share. I'll see you in the next video. Until